So welcome guys to the next dev call, the 23rd, I think. And on today's agenda, we have a couple of interesting things that I'm quite excited about. We have an update on version 0.2 of the alpha of NOGame by Amatel. We have an update on some of the MAV stuff that DSI has been working on and taking a look at. And then we will have the presentation of Graphiro, which is this graph library that Dono has been working on and is still working on. And in the end, we're going to see a live walkthrough of Guildly by Sam, which is the guild system. So yeah, that being said, I think we can start. And Alex, I think the stage is yours to talk about NOGame, and I'd be very excited to hear, what's new, what's been going on, where you're going from here. Would love to hear all about that.
Okay, hi. I will share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see it. A couple of days back, I did a tweet about the new version and the new architecture, which is here in this diagram for who didn't see it. So V0.2 is made of 11 separate contracts. So here at the bottom on the left, we have the NFT contract. So ERC721 and a minter contract, which is basically the contract that is called to batch mint all the NFT before the game is commenced. And we have the resources tokens, so ERC20 metal, crystals, and the Ethereum. At the bottom right, we have the modules, which are basically where all the computation is happening. And these modules are upgradable, meaning that they can be changed. So if you wish to change some of the rule of the game, you can just use the module manager and update the addresses, and the main game contract, which is NOGame, will query the module manager to retrieve the addresses of the module. And so basically the NOGame contract is where the players in the front end will plug into. So the players will not interact at all with any of the other contracts, just with NOGame. And NOGame with all the storage as well. So whenever you want to update this module, the state of the game will not change. So whatever progress someone has made will stay. An interesting, I think, new feature that can be developed from here is having personalized modules. So different modules can be created, and a module library can be put online, and whoever wish to deploy a new universe will be able to select whichever module they would like to. So they're going to be able to deploy a custom universe. And also, it would be great if community members that can write smart contract, they could be able to write modules, and possibly in the future take a share of the transaction fees. So in this way, to incentivize creation from the community. So yeah, this is the new architecture, and for the future version, more module will be added. So basically, every module is each tab of the front end. We will have flip movements, defenses, and a couple more in the future versions. Anyway, I did deploy version 0.2, which is accessible from Voyager at the moment. And here you can see the page. There's a few functions, this view function. Anyway, I started working on the front end, and the first version we just had the resources tab, and now we will have facilities, shipyard with most of the ships, not all of them, but most of them, and all the research available. For who doesn't know NOGame, the interesting thing is that there's a progression tree where to develop, for example, the shipyard, you will need the robot factory at level 2. You see, yeah. So basically, you will need to develop other facilities before to be able to develop the shipyard, and the same thing for the ships. Every ships require specific technologies to be developed, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to finish this in a couple of weeks, and I will launch version 0.2.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Alex. I have like a bit of a different question for you. Do you have like any kind of stats for us in terms of like the interest from people who have actually interacted with these contracts? Like, is there anything you can kind of share on that front, or have you taken?
How many people?
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, this round for the the first version, we just all the planets got away. So 200 planets has got away. And for this new version, which is only on, let me just get the number now. For the new version, which is only on Voyager, we probably around 40 or 50 people already. A lot of people is direct messaging me, and so I think there's a lot of interest, even in such a early and unplayable version. So I'm pretty confident in the future. Let me just, okay. So yeah, 48 planets for the 0.2, which is all in on Voyager. And the 0.2, I will make available more planets. I also contacted an artist to start making nicer resources for the front end, and I was thinking about to make the planet's images composable in a kind of a CryptoPunk fashion. It's not that there will be any rarity into the images, but it will be much easier to have a unique picture, I think.
Got it. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think it's great to see the amount of interest that NOGame has generated, even if it's like in a state where you have to interact with the contracts yourself, right? I think that's a great sign. What I would recommend you to do is maybe to create like a Twitter account for NOGame, so you can push out updates there instead of on your personal account, and where you can also add like all of the links, all of your documentation, and announce updates on that handle. I think that would work out pretty well.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right.
All right, that's great. That's awesome. In terms of next steps, what does it look like in terms of next steps for NOGame?
Thank you.
That was more of a question. Like I was asking, what are the next steps for NOGame?
Oh, sorry. So yeah, the next question, the next steps would be starting to integrate the loot logic. Yeah, so basically give every planet a coordinate, and then implement defenses and basically a battle logic where probably it's going to be in rounds, and every round will be some kind of damage created. And I would say I didn't start to think about that in the specific yet, but yeah, that will be the next step. And I was thinking about starting to integrate some kind of market around resources in the form or like order book or an AMM. Not sure about that yet, but that would be also interesting. And yeah, that's it.
Got it. Okay. So for the marketplace stuff, There's been an initiative in Matchbox for an auto book based DEX, which you can take a look at. There should be a GitHub link in the channel for that. Unfortunately, the person developing that had to stop because he had like real life obligations with his job. So unfortunately, that didn't work out. But the work that has been done is there for everybody to look at and use. And then the other thing I would point you to in that direction would be to look at Realms and what they've done with the NFT and order book decks. I think they kind of did both, I think. So I think that would be super interesting to look at and get inspired by, and should be helping you out on that front for sure.
I'll definitely have a look into it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Alex. It's great to see the progress and the sustained interest in NOGame. I think that's a really great sign. All right. So next up, I would love to get a quick update on the MEV tools by DSI to see what you've been up to.
Yes, hello everybody. So yeah, a quick overview of what I've been building so far. So the last things I worked on was a way to analyze combat data. So basically, I can now see what kind of realm a person attacks. So like the main interesting things are basically what kind of resources do we go for? What kind of realm do we attack? I can also see what kind of troops do we use, because I mean, the main interesting things will be around combat. Basically, I guess you would have two strategies, one focusing on producing resources. So basically, kind of a little game where you just try not to be attacked. And the other strategy would be to kind of attack a lot and like steal resources from other people. And I think the main interesting data to analyze come from the combat. So basically, I can see what a person is doing and kind of reproduce. If he has a good strategy, you can reproduce it. Seeing what he does. That's the main thing I'm excited about. Realms is currently making big changes in the combat, in the way you manage combat troops and also buildings. So I'm kind of waiting for them to merge the new contracts on testnet and kind of change my way of analyzing things and maybe finding or changing the way I analyze data. It will be small changes because the main things are implemented right now. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I focused a lot on analyzing combat. I also have a lot of plugin to interact with the contract and make strategies, but this I'm waiting for the game to be released to try more things so that I could interact with players and really make impactful strategies. Correct. Right now, we may be, I mean, there is almost no player because it's just internal, and many builders are focused on writing contracts and building. So it will be more interesting, I guess, in hopefully 2 weeks from now, once the alpha is released on testnet. And yeah, I'm excited to use all of that, and I will surely have more things to build once the game is released and the player create new strategies and like that everybody kind of see what's happening and that we all try to fight each other in the realm. I'm sure a lot of creativity will be within the game, so it will be interesting.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think makes a ton of sense to, you're kind of having to wait for things to really go live, so that you can actually come up with strategies and test things out. I still love that you are, approaching this in the sense that you're already, making up your mind and how you want to approach things, that you've already got like an inside look at realms. I think it's really helpful. And yeah, I'm just excited to see, the whole ecosystem coming to life, essentially, right? And then we can start to really dive deeper into the MEV stuff and strategies and how to optimize certain things. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting. On that note, there's someone in the Matchbox community who had the idea to basically come up with an MEV research forum specifically for games on Starknet.
Yeah.
And so we're looking into maybe giving him a small grant to kind of set that up. And the goal would be to basically onboard like all of the game devs on Starknet, or like even might not just be the game devs, or it might not even be the game devs, but like MEV people in general on Starknet, so they can kind of look into the gaming scene on Starknet and see, um, you know, kind of figure out together, okay, how can we break this game? How should we design this? And so on and so forth. I think there's a lot of valuable kind of research and insights we could gain from that. And I think that person has already talked to you a bit, DSI, but I'm happy to kind of set up you guys again and see if maybe you would like to collaborate on that. I think it could be a really cool thing that we could kind of bring to life on Starknet.
Yeah, I would be really excited to use that forum because like right now it's mainly like different communities in different discords, but like having a small chunk of people that are really interested in building MEV things or analyzing games, economics and everything, all in the same place with game dev and also independent developers would be really exciting for sure.
Yep, I agree. I'll try to get you guys in touch again and see what happens next. All
Yeah,
right, thank you so much, DSI, for the update. Love it.
thank you.
Next up, we now have Dono here, who made the graph library called Graphiro, and this library has kind of sailed under people's radars a bit, I think. So I offered him to come to the dev call and present it, talk about it, what it does, what it's useful for, and what's next for the library, so people get a better idea about it, right? So Dono, if you're ready, if you're here, would love to hand you the stage.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I can share my screen to show something. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Graphiro is a graph library. There are many use cases for graphs. Like I built Axelrod for the Xbox DAO hackathon, which ended up third. And one of the strategies of Axelrod, which is an iterated prisoner's dilemma tournament contract manager, and one of the strategies uses a graph. So like this is a finite state machine, and the state transitions are like the move that you want to play. So like C is for cooperate or D for defect. And so yeah, you can represent like player strategies in games using graphs. You can represent like maps, borders between countries or whatever, or like relations between players of like users of a protocol. There are many use cases for graphs. It's like asking which are the use cases for arrays. It's a very important primitive in a program. So this is like the first program I wrote using Cairo, just for learning Cairo, and I used the most natural way to represent graphs, natural in terms of recursive structures. So I used an edge list instead of a matrix. Because it's easier to use recursion on a simple list. I think there are most efficient way to represent a graph, but like this is what felt more natural to me. And I can show a bit of the code. The library assumes there are all the nodes, all the vertices. So there are felt.size number of vertices, and the contract just stores the edges. And so you have an edge which has a source and a destination. You have the edge list. You can add an edge, check if two nodes are adjacent, and then I implemented a reachable function, which check if two nodes are connected in some way using a depth first search, which was kind of tricky because it's a double loop. So I had to implement a mutual recursion, functions, and yeah, that's Graphiro. And some people already contacted me because they wanted to build what do you say, a reputation system using.
I think we just lost you, Donald. I think your connection dropped off. Let's just see and wait if he's coming back, hopefully.
Okay.
Donald? Hello?
Now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, your connection I think dropped off. I think the last thing you said was that some people contacted you to build a reputation system using your library.
Yeah, to build a reputation system. And yeah, the next function I wanted to implement is that given a node, you return the component of that node of that vertex, which means that you returns all the nodes that are reachable from that vertex, which is useful to know if a node is, if there is some connection between players, or if which places are reachable in a map, something like that. And yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you for this overview. I'm curious, is there anyone here who instinctively thinks, hey, why haven't I heard of this sooner? Like, I need this for my project. Just just spontaneously. Is there anyone here who this was like news to, who thinks this is like super useful for their project? I mean, that's fine, right? I think, I mentioned Graphiro like last week when we originally scheduled, and some people kind of just checked it out on their own in that time frame. So might be that it's not news now, but it was like a week ago. People kind of didn't know about Graphiro yet, I think, at least some people. But that's fine, you're right? I was just curious. Would have been cool, but yeah, that's awesome. I can actually, Donald, point you to some people who are building CK Graph, which is an extension of the Lens protocol.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're familiar with them on Starknet.
Nope.
Okay. Um, so they've been talking to Matchbox for a bit. I could, send them Graphiro, and then if they kind of want to talk to you, then I can set that up as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's just what I just remembered that we've been talking to those people. So yeah, that's awesome. Hope this has helped some people, or some people found it useful. Um, and yeah, thanks, Donald, for talking about this.
Thank you.
All right, and it's very nice because Sam just joined right on time. Sam, if you are ready, we would love to see Guildly, and like a short demonstration of it, I think is what you're gonna do. And he just left. Sam. Hello, Sam. Sam, can you hear me? Okay, I'll just ping him real quick, see what's up. Okay, so he told me he's struggling with volume. Not sure what's up, but let's just wait a minute or so for him to figure it out.
Hello?
Hey,
I can't hear anyone, but I assume it's my turn to present. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead with it.
sure.
I'll share my screen. Right. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. So I'm going to basically just run through Guildly, the UI, as it is now. So yeah, essentially it is in a kind of like closed alpha. I'm sort of looking just for feedback on the UI itself. What you can do currently is manage guilds by creating them, adding members, whitelist. So yeah, adding members, setting permissions, and depositing items. And then I've got a little test game within it which shows what guilds is really about and why they're going to be useful. So we've got just a front page here to explain what Guildly is about. You connect your wallet and go onto the platform, and you can see my address here, and I'm part of one guild currently. I'm holding the title of owner. I'm owning one token, and there are only one current members of the guild. So if I go in this guild, I can actually get a bit more information about it. So here is displaying essentially permissions that allows that I'm allowed to use the guild for. So at the moment, I've got this Goblin Hunt game, and this will allow me to go into the Goblin Hunt and kill a goblin. So it's letting me call the Goblin Hunt contract and to kill a goblin on that guild. And essentially, it would be up to whoever's setting a guild up what permissions they allow. So it could be permissions in any game. It could be in Dope Wars. It could be in Realms. It could be in ICAR. Whatever the guild master wants to set up. And I've got a little test sword here, which to kill a goblin, I actually need to have that, and that's something that you can mint on the home page. I won't set that up running yet because it take a while, but essentially you can go in here, you can create any guild. So I can give it any unique name, and it will deploy it through a factory. I can manage the guilds that I've currently created. So I can go on this Mystical Minions guild that I created earlier, and you can see that there are certain roles that I've defined first, but I want to in the future set up dynamic roles. So anyone can create, when they set up a guild, what they want the access to be like. So a member will give you access to make calls. An admin can add and remove members, and an owner can deposit and withdraw. But yeah, essentially in the future, I want anyone to decide what their setup is. And the cool stuff is really happening in this set permissions page. So here is where I add all of the contract addresses selectors that I want the guild to be able to call. And so, yeah, you can copy this contract and select it to use that kill goblin game. And yeah, it will set up with however many permissions you put in. And yeah, finally, you can explore guilds. So anyone that's created a guild, you can find it here. You can click and get a description and see what the permissions are that have been set up on it. So that's quite important. You need to, before you join a guild, be aware of what the permissions are, essentially. And yeah, essentially that is the current UI as it is. What's being worked on in the future is a browser extension. So to be able to use guilds in any game, rather than having this UI to set up and manage stuff. I just want it to be as easy as playing a game as an individual as it would be using a guild. So once you've deposited your items, so if we go in here, once you've deposited your items to the guild, I want it to be easy for you when you're in the game to use those. And so, yeah, thanks very much for listening. I'm not sure how I'm going to take questions. Maybe Swag can message me, them, if that's okay. Sorry about the nightmarish sound system.
Sure, yeah, I can take questions. And Sam, if you do hear me, then just let me know. Do we have any questions for Sam and the guild system? I will make sure to relay them to him in chat. Maybe I will ask him again a bit like what the next steps are and what he's working on exactly.
Yeah, so next steps. Right now, currently just finished actually. I've created a system within the Realms CLI to deploy and use guilds for managing realms. So that's basically the next thing that I've just finished my first test, and then it will go to Loaf to see what he thinks of it and what he would then like to use guilds for. But yeah, essentially that's the first integration. So using guilds to deposit a realm and for other people to manage that realm for you is going to be the first real breakthrough in terms of what guilds can be used for. And yes, iCar. So iCar, they haven't yet specifically told me exactly what they would like to essentially have as the first use case, but I know that they're looking at using guilds to generate armies, to have a multi game state for everyone to manage. So I know obviously you can create settlements. You could use a guild through to have basically a massive settlement empire, and yeah, essentially that would be another use case directly. There would be obviously other things like sharing resources on iCar, I can imagine, but yeah, that's to be decided, I think. Owning and sharing items, yeah, that's already implemented. So yeah, essentially, right now in Realms, and that was the first sort of test case breakthrough that I can deposit my realm into a guild and anyone can manage it for me. So that's really where people are using my realm that I've given them permissions to use it for. And I've still got the full custody of it. It's still logged in my certificate that belongs to me, and I'm the only one that can withdraw it. So yeah, it's working. It's just at the moment the integration with games directly is the difficult part, and that's where the browser extensions are really gonna help that, rather than having to go through a CLI. Great, no problem, Swag. Sorry again for the volume issues.
No worries at all. Thank you, Sam. I know you can hear this, but I told you in chat as well. So thanks, Sam, and also thank you to DSI and to Alex and to Donald for coming on today and presenting their progress and their updates. Do we have any other questions or any other remarks about any of these projects or anything else as well? I'd be happy to answer. there are no other questions or anything else on your guys' minds, then I think we can wrap up today's call. I think it's great to see the progress, and still excited about the future. So, yeah, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you guys next week again. Have a great day.
You. Bye.